Well, it started over 20 years ago. I actually played sports, got hurt, and playing college football. And my dad was like, "Hey, what are you going to do with the rest of your life?" And I said, Dad, I think I'm going to play sports or do something in sports forever. And he said, you ought to look into getting into selling. And I thought, sales is your thing, Dad. And he goes, well, I know you want that car. How are you going to pay for that car? And I said, I thought you were going to pay for it. And he goes, I'll pay half of it, but if you go sell books door to door this summer, I think it's really good for you, really good experience. And I've seen kids their first year make $20,000 in a summer. And I said, wow, all right, sign me up. So that's how I started. I did really well. I actually finished number one out of over 2,000 salespeople my very first year and made $26,000. And that's back when dinosaurs ruled the world. And so, yeah, I bought five houses with $26,000. Just kidding. But then from there, recruited a team, learned about team building, running my own business, started my own business called Southwestern Consulting with a group of co-founders, and that grew really fast. We built that to be $1 billion of revenue in our first 10 years when we launched our coaching business. It grew so fast, and the board of directors asked me to be CEO of the family of companies. So we had a parent company that was a global conglomerate, and I became CEO of the conglomerate for 4 years. So that meant I had 20 different companies reporting directly to me, and I had over 2,000 people I was responsible for. 20 different presidents and CFOs that I had to work with and help grow and scale their companies. We were in over a dozen different countries with that. And then I left that about 3 years ago and started All Things New Ventures, which is a sweat equity growth company. And from there, got partnered with SafeSpace Global.ai and Tough Stump Technologies. And now, really, I focus on AI technology, helping grow and scale technology companies with the principles that are in my book, Capacity, Building a Business Bigger Than You.
Yeah, that's really amazing. So I love that you kind of started with AI skills. AI skills, sorry, with sales skills. I know you're in AI skills now, but with sales skills kind of as like right out of high school.
Yep.
I was kind of on the opposite, and it took me into my 30s before I really got to learn some real sales skills. And I had to be very intentional about getting those skills. And it wasn't until I had started my own business that I realized how critical it was. Before that, I was only in engineering. It took me a long time. And I had this mindset, I never want to be in sales. I never want to do sales. I want to just um, I just want to focus on technology and engineering and maybe customer service, but that was about it. And I really was limiting myself on the ability of growing. I was limiting myself on the ability to, scale a business. But no doubt you kind of had a leg up. You started that early. Then, you built on top of that leadership and no doubt, these other subject matter expertise. So that's
Yeah, I think as an entrepreneur, learning how to build your business development acumen and knowing how to strategically think about your go-to-market strategy, literal sales skills of how to generate leads, how to call on appointments, how to call on prospects, how to set appointments, how to do presentation skills, closing skills, answering objections, referrals. That's the lifeblood of the business.
yeah.
And nothing happens until something is sold. And so being able to know how to personally do that also then helps you hire the right people. So, as the leader, the owner, the CEO, you can't be the rainmaker forever. But by being the rainmaker for some period of time, you can then teach other people how to do your business development methodology. So that's why I encourage every business leader, no matter what their background is, to learn the selling side of the business. So that way they can, I believe you can't teach what you don't know and you can't lead where you won't go.
That's really good.